Hey y'all, Tom, ND3N here, and thanks for dropping in for a Ham Shack chat. Over the past couple of months, since receiving my Yaesu FT-891 as a Christmas present from my XYL, I've been making videos about this rig and how to put it to use. I've spent many hours playing with the rig and made hundreds of contacts in different modes, and I feel I now have enough experience with it to give you a real review. Please note that these are my opinions, but opinions built on decades of experience with learning how to use and what to expect from a new rig in your shack. The first thing that really irritates me about this radio is Yaesu's marketing. To my thinking, the main focus should be on new hams, specifically those who are looking to get their first HF radio. This rig is marketed as a full-featured radio that will do everything a ham, new or experienced, will ever want to do. And all of this is at a pretty attractive price point.
Is this true?
To a certain extent, this is true. However, the new ham, after spending their limited radio budget on just the rig, will find that they have to spend more money to get what they expect out of it. More money for an external tuner. More money for an external sound card. More money for an external keyer because the internal keyer is a bit clunky. More money.
More money?
More money.
More money?
More money.
Yeah, more money.
These needed extras added to the base cost of the rig can quickly rise to an amount that would have had the new ham considering a more expensive radio that would be full functioned right out of the box. That said, Yaesu's job is to sell radios.
A salesman's dream.
And I'm not naive enough to expect a company not to do what they all do. But I am experienced enough to know what to look for and to be aware of what else beyond the out-of-the-box radio will be needed to suit mine and others' needs. Now let's get into our likes and dislikes. The first thing I dislike about this rig is the owner's manual that comes with it. At 62 pages long, and that's including the front and back pages, it is poorly written and doesn't contain enough information for the average new ham to be able to get on the air without considerable extra study and more than a little bit of luck and trial and error. Now, on the flip side, you can download an advanced manual from the Yaesu website. Now, it's 114 pages long and does contain most of what you'll need to know.
Here's what you need to know.
It's that manual that is my primary source when doing these videos. That said, I have some difficulty understanding either manual, and I know what I'm looking for. Besides that, Yaesu should have considered many of their potential customers would be new, inexperienced hams and written their manuals with those customers in mind.
Need the info.
Now that I've vented about the manuals, let's move on to the radio itself. First, and this is both a like and a dislike, this radio is small. Now, I like this because of its size. It takes up just a little tiny bit of space in your shack, giving you more room for the add-ons that will be needed to make it into a more useful rig. I dislike it because it is small. Where larger radios can put primary controls on the front panel, this rig minimizes the size of what buttons there are and makes use of many of them as multi-use buttons. You either press and hold, press and turn something. It's just not up front. Although this rig is rated at 100 watts output for most modes, the heat sink of the radio matches the overall size of the radio, and I have a concern that for high duty cycle modes, like many of the digital modes, running at 100 watts could overheat the radio. Therefore, when running these kinds of modes, you would want to operate at a reduced output. Because of its size, it isn't able to put a lot of the function controls out in the front of the radio with easy access and clearly labeled buttons. Instead, it buries it within function pages and a fairly massive menu item list, which brings me to the menu items. This list is organized by main function, at least it seems to be, such as SSB, CW, data, and so on. But instead of including everything about a given mode, the designers, almost as an afterthought, put other menu items that concern that mode in various other places within the overall menu list. Now, it just seems to me to be laziness on the part of the Yaesu programmers. It shouldn't have taken them that much longer just to sort the list properly. The last thing that I have both likes and dislikes for this is the display. Because of the limited size of the rig, the display size is limited. That said, my overall opinion of the display is that it is well laid out and provides all the information that you're going to need during normal operations. The critical information is prominent in big font, and other information doesn't overly clutter the display. Because of the price, it is a monotone grayscale display instead of the color displays seen on more advanced rigs. The scope function is a sore spot for me, to the point that I recommend not even using it. The fastest possible update rate is once per second, and that's set down in the menus, so you can't always see what's actually happening. If you do put it in continuous scan, it turns off your receive audio. And by the way, when you're on the just normal scan where it's updating once per second, whenever it updates, it shuts off your audio momentarily. So you have to depend on an inadequate display to tune in a signal instead of using your ears. So in review, would I recommend this radio, especially for a new ham? If you only want to do voice type communications, then you should consider this rig. If you want to have access to some of the more popular modes, such as FT-8, then you might want to second think this rig. Instead, consider something a little bit more advanced, like the Yaesu FT-10 AESS, the FT-991, or the ICOM IC7300, which are all competitively priced with the FT-891 once you consider pricing in the additional add-ons that you're going to need. In the end, the choice is yours. This video's intention is to give you my opinion of the 891. Whether it's the 891 or something else, make sure you do your research first and go into it with your eyes open. The difference could be owning a rig that doesn't suit your needs, that you will sell at a loss in just a few months, or having a rig that will take the place of pride in your shack and give you many years of enjoyment. Do I plan on keeping this radio? Why, yes, I do. After investing in an external tuner and sound card and investing my time in learning how to make it do what I need it to, I'd hate to just write that all off as a bad decision. However, this will never be my primary rig. It'll be a backup to my backup. Using it for field day or parks on the air, perhaps adding it to a Go kit, or making it into a permanent mobile radio. There are still options and opportunities available for this rig to be of use to me. As far as the videos go, I'll continue to produce them, but not at the rate I have been. My focus will be going back to my other rigs that I've been ignoring too much the last couple months while I spent my time with the FT-891. Now, I'll be honest with you.
It's about time.
This was an uncomfortable video to make, mostly because offering criticism in any way is not my usual style. That said, if your opinion differs, please leave a comment.
Comments? Questions?
Down below, and share
If we're going to share, let's share.
this video with others who may be considering a first rig or a new rig or the FT-891. 73 until the next hey y'all. As always, I'm at your service. I'm Tom, ND3N. This has been another, albeit potentially controversial, Ham Shack Chat. And I am out.